Welcome into the CHGO Blackhawks postgame show powered by ComEd. It's getting easier for your business to switch to electric vehicles. Learn more at ComEd.com/clean. The Chicago Blackhawks have won a game 3-2.
Is that legal?
Over the Ottawa Senators. Apparently so. I didn't know that. Connor Bedard with a goal and an assist. He's your number one star. This was not always pretty. This was not always, smooth, but it was entertaining as hell. And, boy, wins are wins, man, and they seem so few and far between. It's a great day here in the CHGO Blackhawks studios.
The first period was really good. Blackhawks had 21 shot attempts to just 18 to the Senators. And then, oh boy, it got flipped around.
Yeah.
For the second 40 minutes of the game. Kind of all started with Tyler Johnson getting called for that tripping call on the first shift of the second period, and all of a sudden it was like all Senators.
Yeah.
To where for the final 40 minutes, at 5-on-5, the Senators shot attempts 48 to 23.
Good
That's
Lord.
double. And yet the Blackhawks win because Peter Mrazek was fantastic again.
Yeah.
Connor Bedard, I think this kid's got a future.
I think so. I think he'll be okay.
He's
no Brock Faber. Let's not get...
No. I mean, his plus-minus is not great, but God damn, that kid is just... Two of his best goals this season have not counted.
I know, it's unreal.
Because of petty-ass head coaches and their offside challenges.
Screw you, Jacques Martin.
Yeah, that one was obviously offside, but still a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so you kind of said it. Peter Mrazek was great in this game, but was not one of the 4 stars of the game. So we're going to give you the 3 stars. Number 3, Philip Kurashev had 2 assists, a shot, and 3 shot attempts. Your number 2 star, Jason Dickinson, with the game-winning goal, 3 shots and 5 shot attempts, Big J Dick. And your number 1 star, Connor Bedard, with a goal, an assist, 5 shots, 6 shot attempts, 18-17 of ice time. So here are your 4-star nominees. Obviously, Peter Mrazek stopped 40 of 42 shots. We know he's going to win. Steven, I think you already have the graphic done. Am I wrong?
Yeah, it's ready.
Yeah, we know it's going to be him. But we'll pretend, and we'll play it out throughout the end of the show in case the Foligno family or the Jones family jumps on and starts voting. Nick Foligno with a goal. He had a goal, +1, 17-55 and 2 shots. And Seth Jones, as we were looking for the 3rd nominee, on a normal day, this is one Seth Jones maybe should win. 28-58. So he was a minute and 2 seconds from playing literally half the game. 3 shots on goal, 7 shot attempts, a block shot, and 2 hits. Seth Jones was terrific in this game. Also, he was a +2 in this one. That dude played half the effing game. And whichever betting app you have and you like, whatever the Seth Jones minutes over-under is, take the over.
Over, yeah. We had a lot of people in the chat saying, how was Mrazek not a 3rd star, especially on home ice?
It's surprising.
We were like, Mrazek's definitely getting one of the 3 stars. But, I mean, Kurashev had 2 assists.
Well, you knew Bedard was getting one.
Yeah.
You got to give one to the game-winning goal.
Right.
Yeah,
So
but I would have taken Mrazek
What was more impressive? Kurashev's 2 assists or 40 freaking saves?
40 saves.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure. But, hey, I feel like every time, and Steven, you probably know this, I feel like every time Mrazek is a nominee, he is the winner of 4-star. Almost
can't
every
recall
time.
a single time that he was not the 4-star when he was an option.
Yeah, he's been awesome, and this was for a guy who's been really good all year, this was up there with his top 3 or 4 performances of the season.
Yeah, I mean, this is you talk about the last year and a half for Peter Mrazek has been pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
The Toronto Maple Leafs give the Blackhawks a 1st-round pick to take Mrazek off their hands. That pick turned into Sam Renzel, which it's going to be 3-4 years before we know if that was a good pick or not.
Right.
Imagine the Toronto Maple Leafs with Peter Mrazek in goal this year.
They'd feel a lot better about things.
They wouldn't be
They'd
hanging
in a
on
position.
for dear life to a
Yep.
playoff spot, and they may actually have a shot to win more than 1 round. Last year he gets here, he has flashes of playing good, can't stay healthy.
Right.
We all sat here, all 3 of us sat here on this very set before the season started, and all agreed that Arvid Soderblom's probably going to have more starts than Peter Mrazek this year because he's probably going to play better, and Mrazek can't stay healthy. And we were wrong. Gladly wrong on that. Mrazek has been sensational, earned himself a 2-year contract, building that bridge to Comezzo. Like, it's played out perfectly for him, and good for him because Peter Mrazek is an awesome dude. He's always in a good mood. He's always joking around. He seems like the kind of guy that his teammates really enjoy getting wins for.
Yeah, definitely. And he has worked his ass off. And look, like, that's a guy who before Toronto got rid of him for a first-round pick, like, had a good career and had earned that contract that he had in Toronto that they were so desperate to get rid of. And these guys are pros. They got pride. Like, he wasn't satisfied just being like, here we go. Write me off. I'm done. My career's over. I suck. And that's just is what it is. No. Worked his ass off. He's done, knock on wood, a good job of staying healthy, and has been most nights has kept the Hawks in games. And a lot of those nights, you all know, you watch every game, they don't have business being in a lot of those games.
No.
And this was one of them. This game could easily have been 5-2. Like, there were some massive saves he made in this one.
Man, if Ottawa these last 2 years had spent any kind of money on goaltending, if they had Peter Mrazek, they'd be a playoff team. They have got so much good talent on that team. Tim Stützle is he's maybe one of the best skaters in the league.
Stutzley, if you're Elliot Friedman. Call him Stutzley. It cracks me up every time.
Toaster Strudel, man. He's so good. But just that goal, it was the power play goal, I think, where he just took like 3 strides and was through the entire defense.
He's
so
very
smooth.
good.
You have Brady Tkachuk, who is just a beast. Claude Giroux, that first Senators goal, watch that play. Or was it the second one? It was the first one because it was on the other end.
One.
Yeah.
Yep.
Where the pass is ahead of him, and he somehow corrals the pass, and in the same stride, tips it over to the wide open Stützle for the goal.
Yeah.
Like, just an amazing play by a guy that has been in the league so long. He played in the 2010 Stanley Cup Final against the Blackhawks, and he's still in the league, and he leads the Ottawa Senators in points.
He's
not
very
just
good.
he's just not along for the ride. He's still a very good hockey player. I don't know how the Ottawa Senators. Well, I do know how the Ottawa Senators. Like, they've had no goaltending, and their defense is a little but they should be a lot better than they are.
48 points in 51 games for Giroux.
And he's what, 37?
He had 1 point in this one, right?
Yeah, he did have a goal. He had 47 coming into the night today. Yeah.
Yep, and he is 36 years old.
36. I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's a good ass.
Is he
player.
the next Jaromir Jagr?
I don't know. I mean, it's a guy who's been healthy for the bulk of his career, as far as I can remember.
I think this is a guy that if he stays healthy, he's got 1 more year in Ottawa. I believe it was a 3-year deal.
I think so. Yeah.
This is a guy that I think is going to just keep himself in this kind of shape until he gets that cup. He's going to be like the next Kimmo Timonen, and he's going to be a gray beard. So, Claude Giroux, you want to come here in 3-4 years? We'll have Connor Bedard hand you the cup.
Sure.
We'll welcome you.
I'm down with that.
Yeah.
Let's spend some time on Connor Bedard because, boy, the difference he makes in the offensive zone is just unbelievable. The goal he scored, that counted, got the puck, shot the puck twice, then got it back, and then put it right between Jake Sanderson's legs and past Korpisalo. Like, he is just so dominant in the offensive zone, and his vision is so far ahead of most of the other guys on this team. And look, I still think there's offensive improvement to come with Bedard because once or twice a game you see him try something that just doesn't work, right? Like, he'll try to advance the puck a little bit, or he'll try to feed it into his own and no one's there. Now, some of that will come with more talented and more offensive instinctually
when he doesn't feel
players.
that he has to do it all himself.
Right. But he's only going to get better from here. And that's the scary thing. Like, he's already basically a point-per-game player. It's a matter of time before he gets there. Should have had 3 points tonight, had 2 points tonight, 3 points since he's been back. And he just makes such a massive difference on this team. He makes everybody better. And it makes the game watchable more than
Absolutely.
anything.
And the thing is, when you get him back, and hopefully we'll get Anthony Beauvillier back here in another game or two, And then hopefully again eventually Athanasiou, maybe in another couple weeks. But even getting Bedard and then getting Beauvillier back, you could then start filtering guys back into their normal roles.
Yeah.
You don't need to have guys trying to be top 6 players who have no business being top 6 players. You actually have maybe 2 lines that can threaten to score a goal every once in a while. And then you have your bottom 6 that, instead of trying to produce offense, can just go out and be your bottom 6.
Well, let's do that exercise here, okay? So let's add back Athanasiou and Beauvillier, right?
All right. Thanks for.
And let's throw Reichel in there too, because he's not going to Rockford.
I know. I don't think like they need Reichel to do something before this season is over, and I hope he does, because I'm tired of talking about him every day.
Me too.
In here and on Twitter, it's the same thing over and over and over again.
Right. So let's say your top line today was Foligno, Bedard, and Kurashev. So let's just put Beauvillier there. All right. Just for filling out with spots. Right. So Beauvillier, Bedard, Kurashev. Then your second line was Johnson, Dickinson, Anderson. So maybe you put Athanasiou on that right wing, right? And then maybe you put Reichel on that left wing. Then you've got Anderson and Johnson on your third line, probably with Foligno.
Foligno, yeah, that's
right. Like, how much better does this team look?
Absolutely.
And
I totally would put Reichel, Athanasiou with Dickinson.
Yes,
that would be a really effective line.
I agree,
and I think that's the combination that gets. Now, if Reichel gets on with those two guys and still doesn't do shit, then it's on Lucas Reichel.
Yeah.
When do we get to the point where we start saying maybe it's the player's fault he's bad this year?
Well, it's weird how, I don't know, people dig in their heels on stuff. This is nothing new.
And I want Lucas Reichel to be good. He needs to be good. It's important.
And he's a good kid.
But at
and
some point, you have to say maybe it's the player's fault.
Right.
And I do appreciate, the coaching staff. This also sends a message.
Right.
Hey, Frank Nazar, Oliver Moore, you guys paying attention?
Right.
Just because you were drafted in the first round doesn't mean you're just going to walk in here and be a top 6 forward. You got to earn it.
Right.
You got to earn it. And I know there's a lot of, well, how come Taylor Radish doesn't get demoted or healthy scratch? Because Taylor Radish doesn't matter. His development doesn't matter. He's probably not going to be here when this team is good.
Right.
Lucas Reichel, they want him to be not only here when this team is good, but be one of the reasons this team is good.
Well, and look, if Lucas Reichel doesn't work out, that is a road bump in the rebuild.
A little bit.
Like, that's coming out of last year. You saw a guy and you're like, all right, check that box. Lucas Reichel's a guy who can score at the NHL level. And now suddenly he can't. So they got to figure that out. You know what I mean? And the other thing, too, aside from Reichel being scratched, Kevin Korchinski did not play the second half of the second period today.
He had a rough game.
He was the lowest blue line on the Blackhawks. But
he was swimming out there a little bit, getting puck watching, getting caught too low. Some of that might have to do with being next to Jacob Megna, who not
good. Reality for him.
Yeah, Jacob Megna had a couple good games when he first got here, but it's not great. Jared Tenorti just can't even make the simple play half the time. I understand why he's out there. He's big. He can be physical, but I mean, I'm at the point where it's like, why are we playing Jacob Megna ahead of Isaac Phillips
or Jared Tenorti ahead of Isaac Phillips?
Right. Like,
at least
one
if
of those
you're going to
two
make
guys,
mistakes, it's someone that matters to the future.
Yeah, like I've had enough of Jacob Megna. I like him as a person. I got to cover him and know him a little bit when he was with the Wolves. Good dude.
It's not personal.
This isn't a league for good dudes. You have to perform.
It's not show friends. It's show business. That's the deal. And I see Mario is sending in some post-game videos. That too. We're probably going to fire up Connor Bedard here in a little bit. But just back to Korchinski real quick, just to illustrate what Luke was doing. So in the first period, Korchinski had 9 shifts. In the second period, he had 3, and then back up to 7 shifts for the third period. So what I like about Richardson, I'm writing about this for Hawks Hits today, is he can hold you accountable without it being like a John Tortorella doghouse situation where he badmouths you, and you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, hey, did you get the message? Here's what we need from you. Good. Go out and show us you can do
I
it.
think it was Derek King that said it when we had him here in the very early days of CHGO, where he said like the best way to send a message to a player is with his playing time.
Yep.
Skip him a few shifts, see if he gets the message. And he didn't bench him for the whole game, but I mean that's a good way to be like, all right, we need you to take a step back, have Kevin Dean get in his ear, have him watch a few shifts, and then go back out there and see if it's any better.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad to see that he got back in the game. Curious to see what Luke had to say after the game about it, if anything. But is Bedard ready to go?
Yeah, we're ready on that.
Why don't we hear from Connor Bedard before we take our first time out? And, of course, Mario Tirabassi will be joining us shortly for United Center. So make sure, if you haven't yet, by the way, hit that like button. And here is today's number one star and future Calder Trophy winner, Connor Bedard.
About Khrushchev the other day, but what is it about the two of you especially? It just seems like the chemistry's been there for the start.
Yeah, he's fun to play with. I mean, he's super smart, fast, skilled. So I think as you play with the guy more, you kind of are able to read off him, and same with Fligs. But yeah, Kershey's a stud, and I've had a lot of fun kind of growing that chemistry and getting to play with him.
Dickinson said you guys see the ice the same way. What do you think he means by that?
Probably that we yeah, I think kind of self-explanatory, but I think he just, with the plays we're making and where each other want to be, and I think that's the biggest thing with chemistry, is just knowing each other's habits, and I think that's grew a bit throughout the year, but hopefully it kind of gets better.
How much have you missed this?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, especially getting back, getting home for a couple games, and getting to kind of feel that energy and stuff, and yeah, it's awesome, and to get a win, and it's been a long time for myself. I think we were on a 5-game losing streak when I was playing, and obviously it's hard watching, and it's hard to watch when we're losing and stuff. So it feels good for all of us to get
even
back.
as much as you were skating, are you at all pleasantly surprised by how quickly you've fallen right back into the rhythms?
No, not really. I've played the game for a long time, and obviously it kind of takes a couple shifts, but yeah, I think putting a lot of work the last little bit here. So yeah, I don't know. I was expecting to kind of feel good coming back, and the first 2 games have been nice, so gotta keep that going.
Did you realize that was offside?
I kind of thought it might be, but you never know. Kind of it's so fast and stuff, but yeah, I wasn't like too excited when it went out. I wanted to just wait for the review. So yeah.
On the goal that counted, a quick release did the trick.
Yeah, that was a pretty bad shot, but it counts, and yeah, I don't know how that one kind of squeaked in. I think kind of fooled him a little bit, but yeah, just kind of throw it to the net, and sometimes good things happen. So I felt good to kind of see it trickle over the line there.
How much does Dickinson's goal, how he scored it and where he scored it from, kind of speak to what you guys are trying to build?
For sure. I mean, he's been unreal this year, and he goes out. He's got 17 goals, and he's probably one of the hardest guys to play in the league. I mean, he goes up against their top line every night, and he does a good job, and it's it looks like no fun to play against him, and then he's contributing offensively like that. So he's unreal, and I think just how it happened, it's right plays. It's kind of getting the puck behind him and going to the net hard. So yeah, it speaks to our game.
I know the goal didn't count, but can you kind of just take us through what you're thinking as you're driving the net like that? Are you improvising the whole time, or are you just kind of take us through it real quick?
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to pass to Kershey there, and then D-Man kind of took it away and saw that it kind of gets to the net, so tried to make a move and make the goalie kind of bite a little, and yeah, but you're almost always improvising. It's a lot of, I guess, instinct. So yeah.
Are you guys running out of ways to describe how Peter Mrazek has been for you guys?
Yeah, he's unreal, and I mean, some of the saves he makes are absurd. Just kind of getting across, and I mean, he's so quick and kind of agile there. So I mean, it's crazy. You feel bad almost sometimes. Like, we gave up a lot of chances tonight, and obviously that's something we got to correct. But he's there, and we have so much faith in him and Soz. But yeah, he's been unbelievable.
Did this game just feel different for you guys? Like, just know we're going to lose this one after that loser streak you had?
I mean, we go into every game, every intermission with the mindset we're going to win, and obviously we haven't had too many, but we never are going into a third or whatever thinking we're gonna lose. But no, I mean, we felt pretty good going in, and obviously with the tie game and with Raz playing well. So we just needed the one, and we got it. So, yeah, it was a good feeling.
What does it mean to you when you have guys in their 30s, guys who've been in the league, who've been stars in the league, talking about how you're the one giving them a lift and giving them that emotional kind of pep that they need to get through a game like that?
I don't know. I mean, it's nice, and you know, I think we're all just trying to be ourselves, and you know, I get a lot of inspiration from everyone in this room, and you know, coming in as a young kid, not really knowing anyone, it's, you know, I've been really comfortable the whole time, so you know, I think we all kind of speak volumes on each other, and but it's obviously nice to kind of hear that and know that, you know, maybe you're not the annoying little kid, you're maybe helping out a little bit, so it's good.
There he is, the number one star of the game, Connor Bedard, feeling more and more comfortable in front of the media every day and more comfortable on the ice every day.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes.
I noticed that after the last game he returned, he was just a little more comfortable around all of us.
Yep.
So
no doubt.
Like his personality was going to start come out more and more. And of course it's easier to be personable after a victory.
For sure. We've got some big super chats to get to, so thanks for those. We're going to take our first break, and then we'll get to those. And then Mario should be joining us shortly after that. So, Greg, tell us about cars.
Cars. I could tell you about all kinds of cars, but there are 4 of them in particular on my mind right now.
Yes.
If you're in the market for a new vehicle, we've got great news for you. Our partner, Ray Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram in Fox Lake is celebrating the President's Day sales event all month long. It's President's Month at our friends at Ray. And you know what that means? You'll be able to shop presidential savings on their wide selection of inventory. For a limited time, get 20% off MSRP on all remaining new 2023 Jeep Gladiator models with dealer discounts. Drive the car Russell Crowe drives.
You like Gladiator models?
Do you like Gladiator? Do you like Gladiator Jeeps, Billy? They're number one for the new vehicle quality among mid-sized trucks, says JD Power. Thanks, JD, for chiming in.
He's always talking about cars.
Yeah, well, that's why his last name is Power. It's Max's brother, I believe.
There you go.
And that's not all. Shop their last call on select Dodge Challenger and Charger models. Dodge is the most powerful muscle car brand, so you don't want to miss out on their last call with over 20 Dodge muscle cars to choose from, like the Scat Pack. At Ray, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, you'll always be able to shop one of Chicagoland's largest inventories and drive home with more money in your pocket than you'd expect thanks to Ray's Price Promise. Why do I always have to cough during reads? Don't miss out. Shop great deals all month long and save big because Ray, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram makes buying a new vehicle more affordable than ever. But that's not all. Just for listening, you're going to get a free oil change when you mention CHGO at the service center or mention CHGO when you book online at raycdjr/service. But you have to schedule it before February 29th. You have a whole extra day to get a free oil change this month. So if you're in the market for a new vehicle, then you have to check out the team at Ray, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram because they're the only team we recommend. Visit them today on Route 12 in Fox Lake. For more information, head over to cdjr.com, serving the community since 1963.
You all right?
I'm good.
I'm going to do one just in case. All right, there. I got it out of the way.
Left my water over there. I'm regretting it now.
I don't know if there's a JD Power for flooring, but if there was, Empire Today would have a shelf full of flooring awards because you know what? Empire Today, they're not only a Chicagoland institution, they are the best place to get floors. They've got shop at home convenience. What's better than that? You don't even have to get off your ass. Sit on the couch, go to Empire Today, check out their selection. Boom. Couple days, new floors. Easy peasy for you. It's awesome. And because Empire Today is renowned for being the best place to get great flooring, they've got a lot of places that are trying to be like them, but they can't. And there's many reasons for that. The quality that Empire offers you cannot be beat. They do not stock low-quality flooring because they will not put low-quality flooring in their home or yours. They also curate the best flooring all over the place. It's all they do. It's their main focus. So you know they are constantly looking for the newest and best flooring patterns and designs for your home. And Once you see those samples, and there's 3 or 4 different options in front of you and you're really not sure which way to go, you can use that virtual floor designer. It's a great way to see how any new floor will look in your space. It's easy. You just take a picture and then you just upload it there to the virtual floor designer, and then you can see those new floors in your home, exactly what they're going to look for, and that's going to make you feel confident in your purchase. And if that's not enough, Empire today services their own warranty. So if an issue does arise, just call Empire. They service all the warranties themselves. You don't have to track down a manufacturer's phone number. Schedule a free in-home estimate today. All listeners can receive a $350 discount when they use the promo code CHGO. Restrictions apply. See empiretoday.com/CHGO for details. Good?
Producer of the year.
It's the best.
Too bad he's selling us out.
Yep, that's fine. All right, let's continue Super Chats. A couple big ones today. First off, David Wallace with a $50 Super Chat says, tonight was my first ever game at the UC, section 321, right near you boys, so got to do my first Super Chat. What a game. Love the CHGO crew. Let's go Hawks. Thank you, David. And
awesome.
Come say hi to us next time. You can
That's
do that.
my old section. That's when I had season tickets. I was in 321. That was the David Wallace bump.
Come by that kid with the weird haircut.
Oh, God, that was... I don't want to say. He might be listening. I don't want to... That was...
I think he knows where he is, probably.
That was the stupidest thing I've ever seen.
Barber, make me look like a penis. Well done. All right, Edward first, with a $20 Super Chat says, overreaction, take of the day, but not much. Bedard would break Teemu Selanne's rookie record if he was in a slightly better team and if the injury didn't happen. I don't know about that.
You're right. That's an overreaction. But thank you for the Super Chat. I don't know, man. 76 goals is a lot of freaking
that's
goals.
A lot of goals. That's a lot of goals.
That's a lot of goals.
Now, will he be a better player than Teemu Selanne? We can hope. That would be wonderful.
That'd be awesome.
If he was.
I mean, even if he's just as good as Teemu Selanne, I'm happy with that too. But
we'll take that. Yes,
exactly.
And then Windy City Hockey, our buddy, with a $2 Super Chat says, Bedard proves fish bowls are for real men. And he gives the fish and the bowl emoji and a 98. So thank you, Windy City Hockey. By the way, Windy City, we saw another guy today with a Nick Foligno jersey. So you're not the only one.
Hey, they're in the team store, the pro shop.
Yeah,
so you can get them. They're out there.
There were a couple got Vlasic in there, and that Vlasic shelf was a little thin in terms of inventory. Maybe people are starting to catch on that he's going to be here for a while and a big important part of things. And obviously tons of Bedard, Foligno in there. We saw Seth Jones, obviously Kevin Korchinski, obviously, and anybody else that really, I think that was about it in terms of like off the shelf. And then they had Chelios, Makita, some of the legends.
Esposito.
But, yeah. In terms of the ones that you could just walk in and grab at the Madhouse store, you know whom? Oh, there were Reichel ones too.
They have one slot for them. Slightly off topic, but fishbowl. Every time I hear fishbowl, I think of Bamboo Bernie's. You ever go to Bamboo Bernie's back in the day?
No, where's that?
It was a bar, Lincoln Park, I want to say.
Okay.
And they were famous for having indoor volleyball courts, sand volleyball, and then they had the fish bowls, which were like,
like the shareable.
They're supposed to be shareable, but you always just got one and drink it yourself. That's what I think of when I hear fish bowls.
That's a lot of alcohol and a lot of
sugar. Well, when you're there and you're 19 because you have a fake ID, you don't care about those things.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Those sort of things don't matter. Yeah, man. It's just it's so different here after a win. We've got way more people watching. We've got way more people liking the videos, and we can go back and actually check to see which of our podcasts have done the best over the last week, 30 days, year, whatever it might be. And aside from the big newsy ones, anytime they win, the post-game shows are probably 25 to 30% bigger. It's good for everybody when the Hawks win.
Yeah, I can't wait till we do more of these and more of the other ones. Eventually, we'll be doing more victory post-game shows than Groundhog Day post-game shows.
That would be nice.
And we see a big jump on weekends, especially when they win. So everyone, there's a lot of new names in the chat. Make sure you hit the subscribe button while you're in here.
Yeah, for sure.
Doesn't hurt that we're also start our show at 5 o'clock.
Yeah, I also
love
that.
That's ideal. I wish every NHL game was at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, not just on Saturdays.
That would be great.
Every day of the week, just 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
I would love that. We're gonna be home by what, like 7?
By 7, depending on where I stop for dinner.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be very, very nice. I want to mention too. This is, I think, the 3rd or 4th best day ever promotion that the Hawks have done this year. And if you've not been to one of these, or if they don't, it's hard to tell how they show it on TV because we're at the games for at least half of them, and it is very like kid focused. They've got kids on the PA. Kids are helping John and Jenna with the in-game entertainment. And just like kind of the theming is very much for kids. They had puppies to play with in the atrium. They had a little jungle gym in there. It's very just a kids-centric event. And man, like for old curmudgeons like me and Greg, especially Greg, to enjoy it. Oh, come on. You wear that hat proudly.
I do, but I like to have my on-air personality and my off-air personality be separate.
You're a big softy, but you have some curmudgeonly instincts.
No, I do have the personality of an 80-year-old man.
Yeah, no, but these are really, really wonderful. And if you've got a kid, or you don't, find one and take them to one of these best days ever because it is so fun to be there. It's just a different vibe in there on those games.
It's so smart to do these this year with Bedard. There are so many kids that are attracted to Bedard. The young hot prospect top player. That's when you get them. That's when you get hockey fans, is when they're kids. That's when I became a fan. I was lucky enough to have parents that were big hockey fans, and they'd take me to games. And we had a whole new generation of hockey fans become hockey fans because of Taves and Kane and Keith and that whole group.
Yep.
Well, now those are the people starting to have kids of their own. If you were 15, 16 in 2010, you're now in your 30s and you're starting to have your own kids, and they're getting pulled in by Bedard and some of these other young kids. This is when you do it. You have to hook them when they're kids. You're not converting many 40-year-olds to become hockey fans. You have to get them while they're young and impressionable.
Well, and think today, like, how many kids had their first Hawks game today, right? Like, I know my buddy Danny Parkins from The Score took his son to his first Hawks game today, and he saw Connor Bedard score. Boom.
You're never going to forget that.
You're hooked. You're hooked.
You're a Connor Bedard kid for life.
Yeah, and Charlie the Bacon Guy shared an image of his daughter watching the game on the laptop, looked like in the Bacon Lab.
The Bacon Factory?
Yeah, like just watching the Hawks because she's already hooked because she went to a best day ever game actually this year, and we got to see her, and she had little barrettes in her hair that matched the feathers, and she had a great time. And like these are the sort of things where you breed these new
memories that stay with these kids forever.
Of course. And when you think about it too, like, is your average 6-year-old at this game going to remember if they won or lost? No, they're going to remember that they went, they had a great time, they got to snuggle with puppies and play in a gym, and Connor Bedard scored a goal, and I got all the ice cream I wanted. That's it.
Yeah. And
I've got a Hawks fan for life, and it's great. And these, I mean, look, every Hawks game is great. They really do a good job with the in-arena entertainment. They keep it moving. There's very little downtime. As soon as there's a whistle or a TV timeout, something is there to entertain you, even during the intermissions. Especially those DJ Oreo nights are extra great.
Somebody is shouting at you no matter what's going on.
Yes. You cannot take your eye off the screen. So it's an awesome time. So, yeah, check out. I don't know if there's any more of those coming up this year. But
I think there's at least one more.
Yeah. If you got
there's at least 2 or 3 more afternoon games, so I'm sure.
Yeah.
Anytime it's a Saturday or Sunday afternoon, this is the theme of it. And it's great because it's just you're getting more people just not only like the team, but like the sport.
Right.
And this sport needs that more than anything.
And if you are a 40-year-old curmudgeon, the ladies that bring the dogs are attractive and tattooed, if that happens to be your thing.
I want to volunteer for that shelter. For the dogs.
Yes.
For the dogs.
We love the dogs.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I'm a big dog guy. Somebody said other that Greg likes puppies. That is false. I love puppies.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of dogs. I have 2 dogs waiting for me when I get home.
Yep. I have one that I occasionally enjoy. All right, we got another super chat from Luke, and I want to hear from Jason Dickinson while we await Mario's arrival. Luke says, can I join the super chat fun? How about we tell these new fans how to become a diehard? Look at Luke doing the job for us.
All right.
Yeah, become a diehard today. Here's why. You get a free shirt or hat when you sign up. That's a great deal, right? You get 20% off all events, all merch at the CHGO locker. You get access to all of our great written content like the Rebuild Report and the Blackhawks Beat and Adam Hogue's newsletter, and there's all card-only content on allchgo.com. You've also got access to the members-only Discord. What did we do in the Discord this week? Oh, yeah. We gave away a pair of Ice Hogs tickets for, I think, tonight's game, right? Yeah, it was
tonight's game, yep.
Yeah, so there's always a reason to become a diehard. And, look, you're going to look at that and say, like, money's tight right now, but honestly, you get your free shirt, you go to an event, and it basically pays for itself.
Yep. And here's one thing. When you go to All CHGO, if you go there and you like reading all the articles, one thing you won't see on allchgo.com are ads. Mm-hmm. You're not going to have those little annoying pop-up videos that you can't turn off at work.
Right.
You're not going to have any advertising for whatever you just Google searched 5 minutes before going on a website. Part of the reason we can give you such a clean ad-free experience is through the diehard memberships.
Yeah. I like the testimonial area there on the bottom. That's cool. Of our screen right there. Yeah, and we've got some new diehards we want to welcome too. We've got Tom and Caleb who joined this week, and we got a bunch more last week. So we have our best month with diehards last month?
January, yes. We had over, I think it was 111 or 115 new diehards. And we were like, I think we're over 60.
We're on pace to beat that too this month.
Right. That's great. I mean, it's huge for us.
It's great. It's the best way to support us.
Definitely.
It really is.
Definitely.
And we appreciate it. It helps us provide all the stuff for you.
And before we hear from Big J Dick, we should mention Monday night,
we're going to try something new.
We got a watch along. What does that mean? That means that we're going to be on during the game, watching the game with you. So you can have the game on your TV, you can have us on your laptop, and we'll be reacting and commenting and chatting in real time. And that's for everybody. That's not diehards only. That's for everybody. So Monday for the game, remember that. Set a reminder. When you turn on the game, grab that secondary screen, put us up there, and we'll be chatting and interacting with you throughout the game. They do it all the time at DNVR. We got to do it with them for a period when we were out there last year, when we found out the tragedy of Mackenzie Entwistle's family. It's a good time. We're looking forward to it. So we're going to do a couple of these before the year ends. I know the Bulls are doing a couple too. So set your reminder. Monday night, we'll be doing a live watch along.
Monday's going to be a very big day here at the CHGO. Just lots of good stuff happening.
Absolutely.
That should be fun. Little watch along. I know we were doing it with our Bears games earlier this year, but we're going to try it out with the hockey, and it should be a fun time. We're definitely going to have to get some Salerno's pizzas delivered during the show.
Not that. Those are good, man. Salerno's is good. Good tavern style.
We don't allow just anybody to put their name on our product.
No, we do not. All right, let's hear from Jason Dickinson, who scored the game-winning goal, and then Mario should be joining us shortly.
Sorry, it's ready. Give me just a second.
Okay. There's your second.
2.
That's 2 seconds.
3. So anywho, Monday.
By the way, while we're at it, Discord people, we do have one more of those Corey Crawford commemorative pucks to give away. So be looking out for. We've yet to figure out how we're going to do it, but we're going to do it there.
Yes.
So, all right. Now we're ready?
Yeah, now we are.
All right, here we go. Here's Big J Dick.
It's definitely big. It helps the morale. The past couple games, we weren't satisfied with our 60-minute effort. And tonight, we scored with under 2 to go, kind of touch and go at times, but we stuck with it for the whole 60.
How much does having Connor back just change the dynamic of this lineup offensively?
I think it goes without saying. I think everybody knows he's a dynamic player. He's electric with the puck, so you give him opportunities, he's going to make something happen, and it
brings a lot more depth to the lineup, a lot more danger to that line, so teams got to think a little bit harder on them.
It's a strange thing that guys, your age who've been in the league for so long can look to a teenager for that lift, but it just kind of says what kind of a player he is, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, not too often does an 18-year-old come in and have this kind of an impact on a team. It's very few players that have the opportunity to do something like that, and it's even fewer that take that opportunity and run with it. And he's a special player, demands a lot of himself, and it shows in his play that he's going out there and making it happen.
And your goal, you just kept going to the net.
Yeah, simple as that. Just keep going to the net. Our line was kind of just a work hard group tonight. Just try to put pucks in, work hard to get them back and recover. Try to create as much overtime time as possible. It wasn't always pretty for us, but like you said, just keep going to the net. Good things are going to happen.
How hard is it to get your puck on a stick in that kind of cramped area? You're fighting for rebound. You don't know which way it's going to come. I mean,
yeah, I'm honestly not thinking about the net really much at that point. I'm just thinking, how can I contort my stick to get it in a good angle to get it anywhere on the net. I'm not thinking, okay, the goalie's over here, the goalie's there. I'm not thinking about anything like that. It's literally just puck here. I got to get my body around it or get my arms around it so that I can get a decent angle on the puck.
Kershaw's on a point streak, and he just seems to take it to another level when you compare with Bedard again.
Yeah, Kershey sees the game at a high level. He's able to match Bedsy's hockey IQ at times. Obviously, Bedsy is who he is, and he's going to keep getting better at that. But getting to play with a player like that will benefit Kershey because he gets guys that see offensive ice the way he does and is able to put pucks where some other guys might not be able to put pucks, so that he can make something happen out of what seemingly might be nothing. The two of them can work well together to create that open ice.
You and Nick and Seth have talked all year about that mental toughness and really digging deep. Do you feel that goal that you had really kind of embodies that culture you're trying to build with the Blackhawks?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a good point. It's one of those things that we go out there in the last 2 minutes to do a job, and we do that job and we get rewarded for it. So that's kind of the mentality that we got to bring to everybody else to buy into that, to say, hey, when you're given this opportunity, when you're given these situations, good things can happen from doing the right things and being above pucks and playing it hard. So it definitely is that type of mentality that we want to instill on the younger players, that yes, we want to go out there and score, and it's fantastic that our line did it tonight, but priority number one is to make sure that the other line doesn't.
How good was Peter Mrazek tonight?
Unbelievable. I mean, I don't know how many shots on goal he actually faced tonight, but I saw it was over 40. We gave up way too many slot chances, way too many backdoors, way too many 2-on-1s in the first period. There's too many opportunities for them to bust the game wide open, and Peter keeps us in it and gives us a fighting chance.
There he is, Jason Dickinson. He is the author of the game-winning goal. I've been calling people authors when they didn't write anything. That's cool. That's a good turn of phrase. I like that. Well, he authored the comeback. He authored the goal.
You are an author, so you are allowed to
Allegedly.
use it.
No one bought my book, but yes, I did write it.
I have a copy.
Thank you.
I mean, I think you sent it to me, but I have a copy.
I probably did send it to you, yes. I was given a list of people to send the book to, and you were on that list. If you'd like it, it's called The Big 50, The Men and Moments That Made the Chicago Blackhawks. Check it out wherever great books are sold, and also my book. No, it's fine. It's hard to write a book during COVID.
It is. It's hard to write a book.
Yes, it is.
It's not easy. It's an accomplishment.
It definitely is.
It's an accomplishment.
It is not easy to do.
Nothing to
But if there's any typos, it's because I had to edit it myself. I did not have an editor. All right. That little chime that I just heard indicates to me that Mario Tirabassi is ready to go. So let's go out to the United Center and bring him in. There he is, the bearded one himself. He is Mario Tirabassi. We good with Mario? There he is. What's up? How'd it go? What did we learn?
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, sounds good.
Yep. Okay, cool. Yeah, some technical difficulties on this end of things, but it's nice to win some games here and there. I know we talked about it a couple of days ago about how, hey, maybe the Blackhawks have a game or two that they could spare to win to help the morale of the team, and that's pretty much what we heard from. Jason Dickinson spoke after the game. Connor Bedard spoke after the game. Peter Mrazek and Luke Richardson all spoke after the game, and they all kind of had a similar messaging of like ending that losing streak and being able to get a win the way that they did today. It wasn't pretty, but they were able to get it, and that was something that they needed as they head on to the one road game that they're going to go on for the month. So good vibes from the locker room, and it was a performance that you can at least say, hey, we got a big goalie win. Connor Bedard was a spark plug to the team yet again. And yeah, you beat an Ottawa team that, is definitely, more talented, but you came out on top.
Yeah, and we're not going to have time to play Luke Richardson in full. We are going to post it to our YouTube page, so you can check that out when the show's over. But one thing I'm interested in is the benching of Kevin Korchinski, who did not play the second half of the second period. I'm seeing the quotes roll in, but I'll let you tell the listeners exactly what Luke had to say about that situation.
Yes, I mean that is a situation of you're learning the NHL. He's a 19-year-old defenseman. He's not a polished, perfect NHL defenseman yet. So he's going to make some mistakes, and that was Richardson. Him and Kevin Dean working in conjunction and making that decision to have Korchinski sit that second half of the second period, just because he's making a few decisions with the puck, few decisions pinching in on plays that you need. They're asking Kevin to be more aware on those plays of where where Luke said specifically, be aware of where F3 is when pinching, and making sure that you're not putting yourself in a position where you're going to get an odd man rush the other way, which is what happened on the play. So, do you want to be benching, a rookie defenseman? No, you want him to go out there and learn and have the opportunity to overcome those mistakes. But on the flip side of things, part of being an NHL player is living up to the standards that the coaching staff sets for you as an NHL player, and that doesn't come consequence free. So, Korchinski started the third period, took his first shift when he was able to, and away we went. So it's not I don't think it's such a huge deal that he sat for half a period. I think it was just, it's a message from the coaching staff of like, hey, we need you to be better. We need you to be more aware. And, you're not running free out there without, without any consequence.
Accountability on a young hockey team is a good thing. You need to remind these kids, especially these high draft picks, that like, hey, we still have expectations. You have to do the things the right way. And we saw a play today in that Penguins game. Connor Bedard tried to make that cross-ice pass to the defenseman trailing in. It was Seth Jones, and he got it there too early, and it led to a play going the other way, which ended up the goal against. Wasn't that the Riley Smith goal?
Yep.
Today, Connor Bedard gets in there, does the same play, but waits that extra second, and it was Louis Crevier coming in this time. So that's the kind of things where, like, you're going to make mistakes as a young player, but learn from those mistakes. So hopefully Korchinski got a few shifts to kind of, I'm sure he had Kevin Dean in his ear telling him what's wrong and what needs to be done. And then you take a few shifts, you see how it's done by other guys, you go back out there. Don't repeat the same mistakes. That's the goal.
Simple enough. Yeah. And like you said, it's not, I don't think it's a bad thing at all. It is a good thing in my mind that it's not just like, well, you're Kevin Korchinski, just do whatever you want. You're a first round pick. You're a part of our future. F that. Like those are the guys that if you, like you said earlier, Greg, like maybe you don't do that with Taylor Radish because who cares, right? Korchinski matters a lot, and
right. You're not benching Jacob Megna because Jacob Megna's not here next year.
Right, but I think it's also like noteworthy for Korchinski that we're 50 some games into the season. And this is the first time he's had anything like this. It's not to say he hasn't struggled or made a bad decision here or there, but it took this long for a guy that young to get to the point where the coaches were like, all right, take a breath, sit down, watch a little bit, and we're going to get back to you next period. I think he reacted pretty well. He was much cleaner in the third period. Much cleaner. Because after I was driving, and it was Troy Murray who actually pointed it out, that he had missed the second half of the second period. I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to keep a special eye on Korchinski, and he was definitely a little tighter, a little more under control, So
yeah, and that's what they needed from him, in response there, and in that moment. I mean, that's a 2-2 game. You can't be out there, playing and playing too loose and making mistakes, because if you make a mistake and you don't face any consequence for it, you probably don't you don't make any changes. You get told, like, hey, don't do that again, and you're like, all right, fine. You go out the next shift and maybe you do it again unconsciously, because you're just going out there thinking that you have free wheeling abilities to just play how you want to play. But you get a message from it and you're like, all right, next time I get in a situation like that, I don't want to sit out half a period. I want to play every shift that I can. So you think twice about that, and you change up how you play.
And I'm glad that they're doing these sort of things in game too. Like, I think it's one thing to, and I think maybe it was Luke a couple weeks ago. No, you know what? It was Troy Murray. I heard him in an intermission a couple games ago, and they were saying, like, some players react better in game, and some guys you kind of have to wait for until the game's over to send that message, which is interesting. Maybe that's something we follow up with Luke on next time we're at practice, because it seems like with Reichel, the messages come after, right? Like, hey, we showed him video after the game, or we're going to scratch him for a handful. Now, we've seen minutes reductions in games, but that seems to have been over time. There's not big chunks where he's not playing at all. It's just is fewer shifts. Right. With Korchinski, this was certainly in the moment, you are not playing until this period ends, and you need to watch and see X, Y, Z. So I wonder how much thought goes into who is the player that is going to suffer the consequence, and have we figured out exactly how to handle this guy? Because the way Korchinski responded in the third, to me, indicates that it worked, at least for him.
Yeah, I mean, Richardson has talked a lot since he's been the head coach here about, communicating and handling younger players, newer generation players. And, I think he has a good ability to connect with those guys, and has a good ability to, kind of handle how each player reacts differently. He can talk to a guy like Nick Foligno, a guy like Seth Jones, long time veterans of the league, and knows how they tick. And he can also, talk to a Korchinski or a Vlasic, guys who are just getting their first full taste of the NHL.
We were back here. Jay and I left after the second period. Mario's obviously still at the United Center. We were going crazy on the Connor Bedard goal that didn't count. I mean, that building had to just be on fire after that play.
Literally.
Yeah, it was electric. I wish that could have held up, but it didn't. But I mean, it was quite the moment. I mean, up until that goal was called back, and you were just like, I was just sitting back in my chair, just like, holy shit, Connor Bedard's a fucking Blackhawk. Like, how cool is that? But even still, with the play not counting, it's kind of like Andrew Shaw's headbutt goal. It didn't count, but it was still pretty cool. And luckily Dickinson follows through and ends up getting the winner. So it's not in vain at all. So we still get a win, and it was great.
I'm glad we brought this back up, because I thinking about this on the way over and kind of forgot to say it during the show. You saw the way Korpisalo, it's like the Bedard effect, right? So the first shot Bedard gets on Korpisalo is one of those patented change the angle of the shot, kind of catches Korpisalo where he's got to react late, and it hits him and kind of ricochets over into the boards. The second shot is through traffic. He saves it. The third shot is a goal that's kind of right between the legs, right? Kind of a flip, like knuckleball, because it hit some traffic. And then for the disallowed goal, Bedard is walking in, and Korpisalo in that moment has seen so many looks from Bedard already that he's like, what's it going to be? And he's backing up. And by then he's beat. It's over. So it's not like just moment to moment. Bedard, with his arsenal of offensive moves, has Korpisalo out of his mind because you know that release can happen at any second. Korpisalo's got to be ready for that. He's got to be ready for a pass. He's got to be ready for a slap shot to the dome, or he's got to be ready to get stick handled around. And you've got a guy stuck in between. We talk about this with players all the time. When you're stuck in between, you're screwed. Korpisalo was stuck in between on that sequence,
he had no chance.
and he had no shot in hell of stopping that. That's the Bedard effect. And the more these goalies see him, and the more his highlights become public, and the more time he gets in the league, these goalies are going to start to fear that. Look at the way goalies act when Connor McDavid's on the ice.
Yeah, because you never know when you have such a repertoire as he does.
Yeah,
you're guessing. And a goalie that's guessing is usually a goalie that's listening to the other team's goal song.
Yeah, it's fishing a puck out of your net.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, so that's the dynamics that he brings offensively are unreal. It makes a huge difference.
Yeah, and he was asked, about, the play coming in, and he said like he originally was like thinking pass, and ended up just kind of getting the lane to the goal, and it's just it's incredible when you have a guy that is that skilled, and another consideration is this is the first time Ottawa is seeing Bedard. Obviously, this is a lot of first times NHL teams are seeing Bedard in general. He's a rookie, but you got Ottawa and a lot of these guys that have never gone up against him. So it's you're just working off a tape. You're not actually working off an in-game experience. So it's an incredible level of talent that he has, and I'm sure when you get into a position like that, you also have to be able to like process the game quickly enough when you are that skilled, because you think of the Rolodex of your skill moves that you could do. You got to think of one that you think is going to work, and is it pass? Is it a slap shot? Is it trying to deke or try to roof a backhand? Like, it seems like he can read the game really well, and that's going to translate to the rest of his teammates over time.
All right, before we let you go, we have to crown our winner of Who's Your Hawk. You're never going to guess who won. It might have been the guy who picked Connor Bedard for the second consecutive game.
It's nice to know that, like, when you get first pick, you have a shot at winning these days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what would have been
not so much of a crapshoot anymore.
Pre-Bedard, though, I would have won this one. Seth Jones had the biggest blue line for the Hawks, who played. I don't know if you got to look at the numbers as you were sprinting down. Seth Jones played 28-58 in this game. He played half the effing game.
Wow. Well, that's what happens when you bench Kevin Korchinski
That's
for half a
true, yeah.
period. Guess who picked up all those extra minutes?
Yeah.
You probably looked at Korchinski and said, "Hey, kid, get your head out of your ass. I'm tired."
So that ties me and Greg at 17, right? Mario has 21.
That's correct, yes.
All right, we got to get hot, man. We got to get hot.
I think this today is going to lead the Blackhawks on a winning streak. Is going to lead me on a winning streak. I'm ready to go on a heater.
All right.
Well, I have first pick for Monday's game, so I wonder who's going to be
the graphic now.
Yeah, I wonder who's going to be off the board first.
All right, Mario. Any nuggets you want to share before we let you go?
No nuggets like Cody Rhodes, but no. I just want to say about Monday's game. For those who may or may not know, it is a watch along for us here on CHGO Blackhawks as the Blackhawks go on the road for their one game this month, taking on the Carolina Hurricanes. So, tune in. We got pregame, postgame, and all night long with us. 5 hours of CHGO Blackhawks. All the Greg, Mario, and Jay up in your faces you ever wanted. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully we get some Salernos in the building, maybe some branded beverages, and we'll have a good time. So join us on the YouTubes.
You had me at pizza and beer. Thanks, Mario. Have a safe drive home.
No problem, guys.
That is Mario Tirabassi from the United Center. Follow him on Twitter at Mario_Tirabassi. All right, we're going to take a break. Then we're going to come back and we're going to get to Connor's Corner. We're going to name the 4-star of the game. You'll never guess who won. And then we're going to wrap things up. But first, Greg, it's been a while since we've had an organic conversation about energy.
Well,
and did you know,
on air at least,
I'm making this one organic. I'm winging this one. Did you know that for business owners, that it's never been easier to switch their fleets to electric vehicles?
I've heard rumors about that.
Mm-hmm.
And, the electric grid is completely evolving these days to meet your cleaner energy needs as we all move to confidence towards, an electric tomorrow.
I love electric tomorrow. Dr. Teeth and the electric tomorrow.
Not steam engine today, electric tomorrow. Love that song by My Morning Jacket, though. Whether you have one delivery van or a whole ton of shipping trucks, ComEd can help guide you to make the changes that make the most sense.
And we know, but Greg, maybe remind the people, what should business owners do?
They should go to ComEd.com/clean to learn more about the resources, fleet rebates, and those nifty infrastructure incentives available to help businesses go electric. If you own a business, don't wait. Start making your plan today to switch to electric vehicles. Good for business, good for the planet. That's good for all of us. Go to ComEd.com/clean.
Is that ComEd.com/clean?
You betcha.
You bet your sweet bippy.
Yeah, that's right. Go now and see how going electric connects us to a better way of doing business and a better future for generations to come. I'm getting a weird vibration in this helmet.
Yeah, take it off.
It's
man.
unsettling.
Start
No way.
tripping too much.
No, man. I'm.
You like it?
I'm
You're riding the wave.
I don't get to wear it that often. I'm soaking
Fair enough,
it in.
Fair enough.
All right. So I don't get. This isn't going to happen for like another 2 weeks. So I got to enjoy it. while I
You got
can.
one coming in. Come on. All right. Well, earlier in the show we were talking about those Blackhawk best day ever games, and as news of these start to spread to the community, they're going to get harder to get. There's one coming up on March 10th against the Coyotes, and April 7th against the Wild, and they're going to start selling out. So what you want to do is head over and check out our friends at Game Time. Yep, it is the best place to score last-minute tickets. It can be really frustrating to navigate these ticketing websites, and with Game Time, it could not be simpler. You get views from your seat, which is great. If you're looking for the best deal at the time, there's literally a button there that says, where's the best deal? And you just click that button, and they find it for you. It's really great up to the last minute, but you can go ahead, too. If you want to buy tickets now for a game a month from now, you can do that on Game Time, too. It's not only last-minute tickets. It's whatever your concert, game, theater tickets, whatever you're looking for, Game Time is a place to go. We saw the other day, one of our favorite bands, Murder by Death, is playing at Dirty Nelly's.
Yeah, that's insane.
That's crazy. I'm sure it's sold out. If it is, I'm jumping on Game Time, finding some tickets at the last minute, assuming I can go. That's what Game Time is great for. Check it out. All you need to do is download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code CHGO. You'll get $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHGO for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. And Steven, I think the music's going to hit a little bit harder in Connor's corner after a big Blackhawks
So pumped.
win.
This is the first time I've heard it in weeks.
Yeah, I was pretty amped up last post-game show. And Greg, you ready for it?
Oh, yeah, he hasn't seen the improvement.
Oh, yeah, there's one noticeable change. You ready?
I have bated breath.
There it is. Anything new for me?
There is nothing new for you.
Oh, there it is. All right, I'm looking for it. I'm like, what? Oh, okay, got it.
He's got the fishbowl helmet on.
Yes,
Like Sandy Cheeks.
It took me a little. Did you understand the Sandy Cheeks reference, Stephen? We debated it.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I did, yeah.
All right, we were debating if you.
I'm
were gonna
30
know
years
what
old.
I know, but
I guess I could be in that middle ground. You're right.
Yeah, I wasn't quite sure. Like, I don't know. I don't want to assume anybody knows anything anymore.
Lord Hostess says, I hope Connor's Corners room has a tiny hole in the drywall after another disallowed goal. That's pretty funny. Bedard ended the game as the number one star. 1 goal, 1 assist, and a disallowed goal. 5 shots, 6 shot attempts, 18-17 of ice time. And that 4th shot on goal of his won me $100 with prize picks. No free ads, but, prize picks is cool.
Check how I'm doing.
Hit my trio. I had Patrick Kane, half a point. He scored a goal. Beautiful. Philip Kurashev, half a point. Beautiful. He had an assist. And I had Connor Bedard over 3 shots. Boom, boom, boom. $20 became 100.
I need Yuroslavkovsky to get me a point just to get me 75% of my bet back.
Who'd you miss?
That no good bum Patrick Kane needed more than 2 shots on goal. He had 1. He scored his goal. Stopped playing. Jerk. And then Connor McDavid, I needed 1 more point out of him. He only had 1 point today, unless that game's still going. Maybe that game's still going.
No, it can't still be going. That was going in when we were going, wasn't it?
Yeah, that game's over.
Yeah.
So-
It just tells you all you need to know, though, about when pretty much everybody in the league is half a point, and he's a point and a half that you had to bet on. Dude's unreal.
Yeah. Oh, well. I'm still using their money anyway, so it's all
Beautiful.
good. Yeah.
All right.
One little.
Oh, yeah.
Before we do the crowning of Peter Mrazek, I just want to share a fun
Shh,
little.
don't spoil it.
I just want to share a fun little tidbit from pregame with coaches today. Luke Richardson was asked about coaching against Jacques Martin, who's been around for we looked it up. He began his coaching career in 1986 with the Blues. Was his first head coaching job, and Luke let us know that Jacques Martin scouted Luke Richardson when he was in juniors.
That's crazy.
And then that point was brought up to Jacques Martin. He was like, "Oh yeah, that's right, I did do that. Yeah," and he played for us and for for Peterborough Petes, but a longtime Ottawa area guy, Luke Richardson, undefeated against the Ottawa Senators, 3-0 in his head coaching career.
Who do you think, Luke Richardson, when you ask him, like, what team do you think you are, like, he's not a Hall of Famer, but if he was, like, what team would he go under?
Probably the Maple Leafs.
Played 1, 2, 3, 4 with the Leafs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 with the Oilers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with the Flyers.
I would,
3 with the Blue Jackets. Another with the Leafs, Lightning, and then 2 with Ottawa.
I would actually say the Flyers.
I think of him as a Flyer
because of the Bob Probert story. Have I told the Bob Probert story?
I don't know.
I was at a Flyers Hawks game that would have been early 2000s, and Bob Probert was, I think, retired. This was when your former employer thought that putting Bob Probert on a live microphone was a good idea.
For the record, that was a Blackhawks decision.
Right. Well, they had him. It was a live.
Oh yeah.
It was a live in between period show. So he was on the PA mic throughout the entire United Center, and Luke Richardson was playing for the Flyers and must have done something shady before the end of the period, and then Bob Probert went and called Luke Richardson a pussy on the PA mic at the United Center. So that's why I always remember Luke Richardson as a Flyer.
I got to produce those shows with Bob, and started off very well, and he, everything was going good. He was really good at it, had a knack for it, and then started bringing his daughters along with him a couple times, maybe to keep him from tempting himself, and then daughters stopped showing up, then he stopped showing up, and then it's sad. It's very sad, and I'm glad the NHL is getting better at taking care of their players that have substance abuse problems. But if you've ever read the book Tough Guy or watched, I think the documentary is on Amazon. When he was right, he was a great dude. But just in general, the lives these enforcers go through, where they're sitting down at an Applebee's and some dickhead tries to hey, you think you're tough? He's like, come on, man. That's the stuff they have to go through, and it's tough on, even the enforcer has their life most in order, but for a guy like Proby who struggled with substances his whole career,
his book is amazing.
Yeah, it's tough. But that guy was I wore his jersey at my wedding reception. That was the first Hawks jersey I bought with my own money. Was Bob Probert. I love that guy. I was thrilled to work with him, but it was also like my first real glimpse at the reality of substance abuse and what it could do to people. And I was a little bit in denial myself, maybe he just got hung up and forgot, or and then he would show up covered in sweat if he showed up at all. It was rough to watch, but a very good dude when he was right. So always rest in peace to Bob Probert, man. I love that guy. He was always a thrill to watch and a way better player than he gets credit for.
Absolutely. I think, yes, for sure. Dude could score goals, but unfortunately he got pigeonholed into the role of being the tough guy.
Yeah.
And that's tough too, because you're a guy that has actual talent. It's like you ever hear the Warren Zevon song, Hit Somebody?
Yeah.
it's kind of the same thing. Like, we just want you here to beat people's brains in. We don't care if you can score or not. And that's got to be depressing, too.
It's tough. It's definitely tough. All right, we ended that on a bad note. Sorry about that, everybody.
Let's end it on a high note, and let's all hail Peter Mrazek.
Yes, the 4-star of the game, 40 saves on 42 shots. Terrific performance, again, from Peter Mrazek, just as all of us predicted in the preseason.
Yep.
That Peter Mrazek would be,
We have been
aside from
on-
Connor Bedard, the team's MVP.
We have been on the Peter Mrazek bandwagon from day one here at CHGO.
Yes.
Don't go back and listen to any of our off-season shows.
Yeah, those are all.
You don't
they're
want
all
to listen to
fake.
those anyway.
Fake news. All right, we are back Monday. Don't forget, we got the watch-along party.
Yeah,
Steven, are you producing that game?
I
Or
am
are
not.
you-
No,
You're bailing out.
I'll be early that day.
I think we're going to have a shortened pregame.
Yeah, I think
just for our own sanity.
Not even. I say let's not even do like a pregame show. Let's just get on the air at the watch along like 10 minutes before puck drop, do the lines and all that stuff, and go right into the
Puck
game.
drops at 6?
6.
Yeah, 6.
So let's get on at 6 because puck drop is at 6:07:35.
Okay, sure.
So at 6 o'clock we will be there, and hopefully you'll be there too. We'd appreciate that. But the watch along is going to be fun. Make it work. It's going to be a lot of fun. Pizza, beer,
Send us-
hockey. What more do you need?
Send us food.
Yeah, I saw Alan Kay said he was going to send us coffee.
That works too.
Sweet. Do it. Oh, also a reminder, while we're thinking about it, Tuesday at 2:30, Nick Foligno in studio with us. So that'll be fun. All right. With that, we're going to wrap things up and remind you that we are powered by ComEd. It's getting easier for your business to switch to electric vehicles. Learn more at comed.com/clean.
Clean.
We'll talk to you Monday at 6 p.m. for the watch along on the CHGO Blackhawks podcast.
We all silly like the mayor.